Hi y'all. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Welcome to another amazing video. I hope you enjoyed this one. My name is Destiny, and I really appreciate all of the support that you guys have really been showing me. I just wanted to start off by saying that. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, for liking, for commenting. You have no idea how much this means to me. I truly believe that this is my purpose, and I really do this because I honestly want to help you guys out, and I hope that I can teach you guys something along the way. So for the title of today's video, I just wanted to talk about godhood and basically what it means to live a life of godhood and to be God, essentially, and to be godly, right? So I first wanted to start by defining what the word God actually means. The word God, broken down, actually stands for generator, operator, and destroyer. And what does this mean? This basically means that you are your own generator, you are your own operator, and you are your own destroyer. And I'm gonna get deeper into that. So by being your own generator, this means that you are your own generator of basically everything around you, right? This whole human experience where you're kind of in your human body, and everything you experience, everything that you perceive, everything that you think, your entire energy, your entire being is literally based on you and your energy, and you generate your energy, therefore generating other things. Like every single thing that is around us first started off as a thought, right? It first started off as a thought in someone's mind, and then it came from the divine realm, or let me say the non-three-dimensional realm, into the three-dimensional realm, into a physical thing like a camera, or like the camera that I'm using to record this right now, or you know, this beautiful top that I'm wearing, or even this like beautiful wig. Like somebody thought of making this and they did, and you know, here we are. So what do I mean by you're your own generator, right? When you're your own God, and when you live a godly life, and when you're in your godhood and you've truly found yourself and realized that we are all gods. And what I mean by that is human beings are literally made from stardust, right? And stars are the closest thing that energetically we can possibly imagine, or fathom, rather, let me say fathom, that we can understand as being a god, right? So for example, the sun, right? So many people, so many cultures, so many religions from way before Christianity existed have worshipped the sun, and the sun is a star, essentially. Why? Because without the sun, we have nothing on earth. We have no life on earth. We have no plants, and if there's no plants, then there's no food for the animals to eat. And if we don't have, and if the animals don't have anything to eat, then we don't have anything to eat. If there's no plants, there's no oxygen. If there's no oxygen, then there's... Yes, basically, the whole life chain. You all know the life chain. I'll put a picture on the side. You all know the cycle of life and the chain of life, and basically our ecosystem here on earth, and none of that would exist without the sun, essentially. And human beings are made from stardust. So what that basically means is that you are literally just like a tiny little piece of that sun, right? And collectively, all of our energy creates kind of the same type of system. Like if all of our energy was to be gathered into one gigantic, huge ball of fire, it would probably look like the sun. I hope that makes sense. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, then it's not meant for you. But anyways, what I mean by you are your own generator is, yes, you are this energy that is encompassed in this body, or this shell, or this vessel that allows you to experience this three-dimensional reality. However, you are not only existing on the third dimensional reality. There are many different dimensions that you are actually in the plane of existence, right? Like the first dimension, the second dimension, the third dimension, fourth dimension, and all of these things that I'm referring to as dimensions are just states of consciousness that you can essentially raise yourself into. Oh my God, how do I explain this, y'all? Basically what it means to be a god and live in your godhood is to be aware of your existence, in the sense that You are a creator. Essentially, being a god is being a creator, because God, Allah, Jehovah, all of these different gods are creators of something, right? And you create every single day from your thoughts, and then you create your life, you create your actions. So what it means to live in Godhood is to be aware of yourself, in a sense where you know that you are in control of your life. You generate the reality. All of the small steps and actions that you take every single day lead to a bigger reality and lead to what you call your life. Essentially, you're in control of your life. And this is why I particularly am not belonging to one specific religion, but I take kind of archetypes and stories and principles and values from all these different religions, and I analyze them, and I basically decide, what are my morals, what's my moral code, what's my moral compass, what are my principles, what are my values, what do I believe about myself. And all of those beliefs and values and principles are what shape my reality every single day. And I want you guys to know that you have the power to create anything. The Bible actually says that we were created in God's image. So what does that make us? That makes us gods. And God, if God made you a god, then he made you able to generate and create a reality for yourself. And to live in Godhood is to take that responsibility, because with great power comes great responsibility. Once you realize that, and once you're aware of that, you take the steering wheel and realize that you're in control of your life. Yes, there are outwardly forces that are working, but they're not in control of your life. The sun doesn't control your life. Like, the sun is like something that we can understand to be a benevolent force that literally affects our life daily, but it literally does not control your decisions every single day. So it's the same thing that you need to consider when you think about stuff like religion or authority figures or things that you're programmed to think. Like, we really live in the Matrix. If you've never watched that movie, go and watch it, because it literally describes our reality. We literally live in the Matrix, and it's like Neo is the chosen one because he becomes aware of his godhood and his godliness, and he realizes that he is able to control himself, especially. And once he realizes that he is only in control of himself and his mind, especially, he is then able to bend reality and shape it into whatever he wants to shape it into. So that is exactly what Godhood is realizing that you generate your reality, you generate your life, you literally generate every single thing that you can think of. Your beauty, your intelligence, your energy. If you need to regenerate your energy, there are ways you can do that, like meditating, working out. Those are ways that you regenerate the energy that you already have, right? Tapping into like cosmic divine powers through your 3D, through your third dimensional body, through your third dimensional avatar. This is just an avatar. Like, what you're looking at is not really me. I'm not even my brain. I'm not my body. I'm the soul within the brain and the body, the soul that's using the brain and the body together. They are completely separate units altogether. That's why you see that, like, when you breathe, you don't have to think about breathing. When you fall asleep, you don't automatically just turn that switch on and you're asleep, but your brain does that for you. Your body can crave things even when people do stuff like, cheating, or I'm not condoning that by any chance or by any means, but I'm saying like cheating, and not just cheating on like someone you're in a relationship with, but cheating on like a diet, or cheating yourself out of a good life, doing stuff like that. It's because your body is literally going against what you feel like in your soul and what you think, meaning that those are two completely separate entities. And when you realize that you are the driving force between all of these entities, and the conjoining force between those entities, you realize that you are actually your own God. You are actually the governor of your life. You are actually the giver in your life. You're actually the generator of all that you want, be it resources, and your biggest resource being your energy, right? So when you realize that you are a god because you were created in God's image, and that makes you a god too, and you're basically a demigod on earth here to create, then you realize what your purpose is, because everybody's purpose is solely based on creating. Look at the richest people in the world, the most wealthiest people in the world. All of them have created something to help humanity in a sense. Elon Musk created the Tesla to help the environment, to help people have to help people have nice luxury cars that are also still protecting the environment and saving energy on the planet at the end of the day, because he wants future generations to be able to enjoy the fruits of the labor of the earth, right? Jeff Bezos made it possible for people to, instead of just having to go to libraries, right? When he made Amazon, it was really mainly for books. Instead of people having to go all the way to the library, search through a bunch of books, and then finally decide which one they like when they land on a picture that they feel like, they like, he basically made it easier for you to just go online, search different genres, to even search for a specific title and have the book delivered right to your doorstep, right? Increasing the consciousness of the collective through reading, through accessibility. And that alone affected so many lives because it opens up people's minds to thinking like, wow, if somebody like him can do something like that, what else can people do? Now people have DoorDash, Uber Eats, now people have Uber, all because somebody had an idea that they brought out in somebody used their purpose to create, and they brought out a lot of other people's purposes to create and a lot of other people's thought patterns and forms, and got people to start basically creating and following their purposes. And that's honestly basically like what being godly and living in your godhood is. Like, there's nothing special about people that are extremely wealthy except for the fact that everybody else wants to have what they have. But what they realized is that they are gods, and what they realized is they have the power to create, and they never stop creating. They are constantly creating, which is why the universe naturally is generous with them, and it gives to them because it recognizes that energy. Like, what am I trying to say? Like, when you live in your purpose, and when you live in a godly manner, and when you realize that you're God and you're constantly using your existence to create and to shape the collective consciousness, naturally the universe grants you all of your desires because you are granting its desires. I hope that makes sense to you, because the whole purpose of the universe is to constantly create. We know that as far as I'll actually drop a link down below so that you guys can see it, but there's actually a scale that you can use on the internet to look at the scale of the universe, where it basically starts from like the smallest atom, from like the smallest speck of dust, and then it goes out and expands into like a chicken, and then a human being, and then a dinosaur, and then into the planet Earth, and then into like the solar system. And then it basically shows you in a scale what we can see as far as the observable universe and what we've been able to discover so far. And when you see that, you realize that the universe is constantly expanding, the universe is constantly creating. So when you are also in the natural vibration of constantly creating, constantly expanding, constantly growing in consciousness, which means doing stuff like learning, right? You guys are watching these videos because you want to grow your knowledge, you're learning a lot. Learning, reading, creating, making anything. It could be anything. But when you make something that helps other people, I swear you will always get a return on your investment. When you use your energy to invest in the universe, the cosmic mother, the divine feminine, which is like, the divine feminine is basically money energy, right? Money energy is feminine because why do they call it the bank? The bank is the bank is part of the river, right? They call it cash flow. When you have cash, they call it liquidity. You're liquid, right? Water is female energy. We know that water is yin energy, right? So all of that coincides with you also using the feminine energy within you, because everybody has feminine and masculine energy within them, which is also part of being godly, right? Having balanced masculine and feminine energies, having that energy to create something, and having that masculine energy to follow through with a goal and be determined and stick to your course until you achieve it, right? So that's literally fully living in your godhood, because God doesn't have a gender. Okay, God is not male, God is not female, God is actually non-binary. God is both masculine and feminine energy, just divinely connected together. That's why you see in like many that's why you see in Hinduism, they have many Hindu gods, and most of them are masculine and feminine, right? Like you have Shiva, and then you have Krishna, right? Krishna is Shiva's wife, and then you have different versions and reincarnations of Shiva, and in each not Krishna, that's Shakti. I'm now mixing up the reincarnations, but you get the point. Okay, there's always the male god and there's always the female god. Even in Christianity, you have the father, and right, Mother Mary, the Virgin Mary, right? That's feminine and masculine energies. All of these stories are basically just regurgitating the divine truth of the universe, which is one of the laws that I was talking to you about, right? One of the laws of the universe, which is the law of gender, right? Everything has gender. Everything is masculine and everything is feminine, especially human beings. You just have to learn to put those things together. Being the operator basically just means taking charge of your life and knowing that you are in charge of your life. Like, when we were younger, we used to be programmed to think so many different things and to believe so many different things, but now we're adults. And now we realize that we do have free will. Everyone has free will, right? And because of the fact that you have free will, you have the freedom to choose exactly who you're going to be and exactly how you're going to be, which is the part where operation comes in, is how are you living your life? How are you practicing your godhood? You say that you're a god and you say that you're godly and you say that you're made in the image of God, but you're killing your body by taking drugs every single day. You're killing your spirit by being depressed, staying depressed. And I'm not saying like just stop being sad, because I have anxiety and depression too, but I don't let it get me down. It's something that I work on constantly every day. I don't let myself get depressed because I have too much to be happy about to be depressed, baby. Like, we are not sad over here. Have you seen me? Can you see what I look like? Okay. When I look in the mirror, I see God. When I look in the mirror, I see a goddess. When I speak, I hear God speaking through me. I channel my divine energy and I tell myself that these are the challenges that come with being a three-dimensional being whilst also being a god. Those are the challenges and the obstacles that you have to face and overcome. And that's truly where you earn your stripes in becoming a god and knowing that you are a god, is saying, you know what? I'm going to choose to not be fearful of the future, even though I know that I have anxiety. I'm going to choose to trust myself and my actions because I'm the operator of my life and I know what my vision is. And I know that if I stay consistent in the actions that I know will bring me to my highest desires, to my highest good, to my highest self, that will bring me the closest to my godhood. If I stay in my godhood, I know that all that is for me is going to be all that is for me is already for me and it's coming to me. If you think that you want something, you desire that thing because it's already said and it's already written in the stars that it is yours. In some alternate reality in the universe, you already have that thing, which is why you desire it. You desire that thing as much as it desires you. So when you realize that, you realize that, you know what? The plot, baby, the plot is bigger than my anxiety. The plot is bigger than my depression. Like, what do I have to be sad about? The sun rises and sets every single day and starts afresh and starts anew and refreshes itself so that I can have a new day. Mother Moon, Mother Moon goes through her phases too. She's not always full. She's not always full of energy and she's not always vital every single day, but she sheds those layers and she comes back stronger, and you get a full moon every goddamn month, baby. So what is stopping you from also realizing that these are just phases in life? When you're depressed, you are living in the past. You are too focused on the past. You're thinking about your regrets. You're thinking about how people treated you. You're thinking about how you treated yourself. You're thinking about things you could have done better, and you stop operating, right? And what does it mean to be a god? A generator, an operator, and a destroyer. And when you're living in your anxiety and your depression, you stop operating. Anxiety is you stop operating because you're afraid of failure or you're anxious about the future. You don't know what the future is. That just means you don't trust yourself. What kind of God doesn't trust themselves? So you need to learn to trust yourself and trust your vision and trust the universe too, and know that it's always working with you and not against you, especially if you're living in your purpose. And if you don't know what that is, yes, chances are you know what that is. You just are too sad, you're too anxious, you're too manic, you're too focused on going out clubbing every day, you're too focused on drinking every day, you're too focused on your job, you're too focused on taking care of your family. You're not even out here taking care of yourself. right? And you've lost a zest for things that you were passionate about. I always knew that I wanted to do something along the lines of entertainment. You know, I didn't obviously know that I would love doing this or that I would enjoy doing this, but I do enjoy doing this. I love talking to you guys. I love talking to you guys about spirituality, the occult, the universe. I love giving advice. I love teaching. I love learning from other people. And I always knew that I have to share what I know because I also want the vibration of the collective consciousness to rise. And this message is not going to be for everybody. And you know what? One thing about being godly and living in Godhood that you need to know is that it gets very lonely. Like, it's so lonely and it's so isolated because so many people are lonely and it's so isolated. And, you know, that's why all these successful people are always telling you, like, it gets lonely at the top, you know, like I told them to meet me at the top, but I guess they forgot, right? Because it really is like not a lot of people are willing to live in their godliness. It takes so much work to work through your demons, to work through your shadows, to know yourself, to value yourself, to heal yourself. That shit is hard. Looking at all of the regrets that you've made, all of the embarrassing things that you've done, all of the things that you wish you did better, especially when you knew better, those things are hard to do. And not everybody has the strength to carry it out. That's why you meet a lot of toxic people. That's why you see a lot of people are sheep and they don't think for themselves because it's too hard to think for yourself. Being self-aware is hard. It's not easy because it also means that when you mess up, when you make mistakes, you have to feel it and really be like, damn, I failed. But the only failure in life is not trying at all. And when you live in your godlyhood and you know that you're your operator, you don't let things like depression and you don't let things like anxiety get you down because you're like, I am a god. I am made from starseed. I literally come from the sun. I am melanin. I am a child of the sun. I come from the sun. You know, like that is a privilege to be this beautiful, to be this gorgeous, to live in this damn time. This is the best time in human history to live. I mean, you can fly to anywhere. You can literally open a portal on the magnetic field and FaceTime somebody in Australia. You could fly economy. You could fly first class. You could use a private jet. If you want a car, you can have any type of car you want. You could have a car that goes on diesel, a car that goes on petrol. You could have an electric car. If you want to change your hair, if I want to change my hair 3 times a day, I can do that. If I want to change my face, I can change my face. If I want to change my boobs, my butt, my body, if I want to change my house structure, I can do anything I want. And you're depressed? You think your ancestors fought colonizers and bought land and got themselves educated and got resources so that you could stay in bed all day and be depressed, so that you could kill your body and do drugs for the rest of your life so that you could be a drug addict? That's what you think? You think God made you. You think God made you for you to play yourself? For you to constantly put yourself in situations where you know that you deserve better? Couldn't be me though. Couldn't be me. Okay, let's go on to the destroyer part. Because obviously everything has a positive and negative charge, right? I'm gonna talk about the negatives too, because I feel like I've just been diving into, you know, the positives. But being a destroyer can be very positive, right? Like, so many people have so many generational curses going on in the family that they probably don't even realize. Like, archons are like, basically like entities that are energy vampires, or entities that basically live off of a certain type of energy. So let's say that anxiety is an archon, right? Anxiety is an entity that basically lives within your body and it thrives and feeds off of your fear, basically your emotions, because emotions are energy. Emotions are electricity that moves through your body, right? Emotion, it's electricity in motion. So basically archons are like depression as well, right? It basically feeds on like your sadness and your regret and you living in the past. Those are archons. And once you realize that that is an actual entity outside of you, not a part of you, once you realize that it's not part of your identity, but it is an obstacle. Look at it as an obstacle. And those are some of the things that people don't look at as being generational curses, but those are the biggest generational curses, especially affecting the Black community, right? Because our ancestors went through a lot. They migrated to different countries. They were in war. They were living in times where they were segregated. They had so many different anxieties that they were dealing with and, you know, have still never dealt with. I mean, most of our grandparents and great-great-great-grandparents and even parents have probably never set a foot in therapy. But what you need to know is that, like, your DNA is like a hard drive. Like, your DNA has like trillions of data, of information. And all of that information is your ancestors' past trauma, their anxieties, their fears, right? And when you're a god, those are the types of things that you're supposed to rise above and destroy. You have the power to destroy such identities, such entities, such archons, such generational curses within your family. It can end with you. It might not have started with you, but it can end with you. Ending poverty, ending, you know, being a sheep, just following the status quo, growing up, going to school, getting a job, working until you're like 65 and dying. That's not a life. That's not living. That's slavery. And you can stop that with you. Like, slavery never really stopped. Like, they want you to believe that slavery stopped, but it never really stopped. They just repackaged it. They just rebranded it. It's like Coke just getting a new bottle. That's what they did, basically. And now, instead of it being just the blacks, it's everybody. Okay, the whites, the blacks, the Hispanics, the Indians, everybody, the Chinese, everybody's a goddamn slave now. So you being a god is you realizing that you have the power to destroy such systems that oppress you, especially in your life. Like, I like to think of like the law of like polarity, especially when it comes to this kind of topic, because it's like, when it comes to the law of polarity, it's basically saying that, like, okay, like water is a good example. Water is just water. But where polarity comes into water is there is a difference between hot water and there's a difference between cold water. All these tiny different degrees in the middle of hot and cold water are all different polarities of water, right? So in your life, when you think of however many people are unsuccessful, however many people are poor, however many people have anxiety and have depression, there are equally as many people that don't have anxiety, that don't have depression, that are successful, that are millionaires, that are beautiful, that are confident, that are successful, that are creating and being the person that you want to be. People that wake up every day, consistently ace their goals. And you can be that too. You have the power to destroy all of those identities that were given to you when you were younger and when you were just a child. Because you're a god. You just have to wake up one day and decide that, you know what, I am my own god. And I decide what I'm going to generate from my life, how I'm going to operate in my life, and what I get to destroy and not take with me. Because when you're ascending and when you're becoming the person that you're supposed to become, not everybody can come with you. Okay, not everything can come with you. The reason why you haven't gotten all of the things that you want in life is because you don't even like know how to handle money. You don't even know where half of your income goes because you spend it on miscellaneous things and you're not tracking your money, and you're out here asking the universe for $5 million when you can't even handle having $1,000. Like, you can't even have all of the things that you want to have in life because you haven't dealt with the fact that you're impulsive and you're too emotional. You don't have a grip on your emotions. Now imagine you got $250 million and you ain't got no control over your emotions. Now you're out here doing all fucked up shit like get your life. The G in God stands for get your life, baby. Stands for get your life, baby. The O stands for, oh my God, I'm so tired of you complaining. Will you get up and do something? And the D stands for don't fucking play with me. But anyways, I hope I explained that really well. I really enjoyed making this video, actually. I love when that happens. I didn't plan to make this video at all because I actually have like a list of a bunch of videos that I'm gonna make for you guys. And I just basically felt the universe speaking through me on this one. So yeah, I really enjoyed making this video for you guys. If you have any questions about any of the things that I mentioned in my video, like archons, you know, something specific that you want me to kind of make a full video on, then by all means feel free to comment that down below. I will look into it. I will do as much research as I can, and I will come back to you with all of that information. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting me. If you do not already, please turn your notifications on so you can get notified whenever I drop a video. I mostly drop my videos on Saturdays in the morning at like 7 a.m. Central African time? No, not Central African time. I don't know. In my time. But Saturday you can check out my videos. Also, please subscribe to my channel. Please leave a comment. Please share with anybody you feel like would really appreciate this message. And yeah, thank you so much for supporting me. I love you guys so much. I will see you on the next video. Bye.